Yeah, I really don't think it's Douyu. I think it's like Douyu. Douyu. Does anyone in the chat know how you pronounce Douyu? Please, please help me. You're gonna have this battle forever. I'm casting a tournament I can't pronounce the name of. So you'll be right. Our blue Terran player representing team MVP. It is the Terran player. No, of course it's the Terran player. I did this just before. It's our blue Terran player. It is Forte. And down to the bottom left, it is going to be our red Zerg player from Jinnair. It's going to be Symbol. Guys, if you've not said hello in the chat yet today, now is a great time to do so. Say hello, let us know who you're going to be cheering on at the very start of this finals. Let's hear it if you're cheering on Symbol. Let's hear it if you're cheering on Forte. I want to know who you guys want to see winning this today in the Douyu Cup number 2. Yesterday we saw Ryung, the Terran player from MVP, take home the victory. Will we see him, will we see another Terran player from MVP taking the victory today? Or will it be the turn of Symbol? Again, great to see already the Cup getting a lot of attention from some of the higher level Korean pro players. And I'm sure that the players will only get better and better as time goes by. So we get into this first game, and it is going to be a double racks opening. And with a gas as well, it's going to be Reapers from the very early stages here from Forte. So 2 racks Reaper to begin things, starts up his orbital, and we don't see a third rack, so just 2 racks Reaper, so a little bit of pressure into still a fairly fast command center afterwards. Wardy, I like your new tan, says Lost Patrol. I don't think I have a new tan. I think it's probably just the webcam and the lighting in the room today. Alright, first Reapers are on their way across the map here very soon, and we'll be seeing what they can get up to very, very shortly. Finals already. I just woke up, missed a lot, says along 868. Well, unfortunately the Douyu Cup does start quite early on for, well, Americans, or still, I mean, it's still kind of midday for Europeans, so it's a bit earlier than most stuff we cast on this channel anyways. But don't fear, because if you're going to be around later, we've got SC2 Improved Team League action for you. In 4 hours time, the Team League kicks off with Invasion Esports vs Cascade, and then we're going to have also Root Gaming taking on AT Gaming as well. So looking forward to those. This first Reaper needs to be a little bit cautious, needs to make sure to dodge away from the Queens. Actually nearly grabbing that drone on the low ground. So has to be careful now once again, but all the drones have been safe so far, but he might be able to cancel this here. It's so close. Oh, okay, the Spore gets cancelled, drone gets remade into the Spore as the third Reaper starts to come across the map here. The idea of these early Reapers was that you can just delay the hatchery on the third base for so long. However, that's not going to be a possibility here, because Symbol did expand to the low ground initially to deny the Reapers from being as effective. Now, they still can be effective because there's a lot of ledges for them to use, but nowhere near as effective as they would have been if the third base was taken, or the natural expansion was taken in the actual natural. So a couple of grenades coming down, one Reaper falls, the other one making it away now. Third Reaper, or fourth Reaper joining up with the 2 Reapers still left alive, as we will see the add-ons starting to come up back at home for Forte, a Tech Lab and a Reactor. As he also starts at the third racks and just gets ready to go into a very standard follow-up here. Bets. Yes, I'm not very good at doing the bets because usually I'm used to other people doing it. So let me just fix this quick. There you go, guys. You can go crazy on the bets. Alright, so yes. We see Overlord over to the right hand side. We see an Overlord coming up the left side too. Reaper's still going to be harassing here, but lots of Zerglings. Grenade here initially hits very, very well. Second grenade hits great as well. But the Zerglings are going to find themselves some Reaper kills here. And that's one in the end, but actually a lot of Zerglings traded off for that one Reaper kill. So Forte continuing to get quite a bit of damage done. Plus one's on the way for him. Stimpact as well. We'll just see a second reactor being built, and now a factory being added on as a third CC's come up behind all of this. And I really like Forte's position here at the start of this game. Really feels as though he's managed to get set up into a nice strong position to enter the mid game with. As we're going to see this Queen hits onto one of those Reapers. Reaper's just going to have to turn away, pull back now. And they're just going to move through the center of the map and maybe redirect their aggression elsewhere. We're going to see a few Marines just in the main base. Factories on the way up. Second reactor finishing on the barracks now as well. I mean, Symbol will come in, but he doesn't really scout more than he would already know about. I mean, he knows this was at least 2 racks Reaper. So he knows, I mean, that does not mean more Reapers being made. And seeing a Tech Lab, a reactor, and some Marines Doesn't give him any further information. He doesn't know if there's a third reactor, doesn't know if there's a starport already. He doesn't know how early the third base is, so Symbol is very blind as to, you know, in terms of general information here right now, as Forte will drop a grenade or two and again just try to get some further damage done here. Great hit on the lings at the end there, but if the other grenades are connected, then maybe he would have actually got some kills here instead. And he still gets a couple link kills, but he loses all the Reapers now. And Forte, well, he has a lot of Marines up on this high ground, and that's something which Symbol has to be very cautious about if he's about to run up here, because he does not want to lose all of these Zerglings for free. And he's going to leave one Zergling out in the front, just kind of watch for this. And I like what Forte is doing as well, hiding some of his Marines just consistently here, hiding information from his opponent, stopping Symbol from being able to piece together the kind of the information that's being given to him, and stopping Symbol from just having a complete idea of what's happening at the start of this game. So more Marines coming down the right hand side. We've got a few Ravagers down here. Group spread's been denied by the Reapers, so it can't progress any further forwards. First Medivac's onto here yet. There's actually more Symbol. Don't think he's quite expecting this attack just yet. He's going to see a stim in. He's going to go chase these Ravagers. There's going to be some Zerglings at the front that are going to go down very quickly, as these Marines are going to get a lot of damage done here. There's just no units just yet for Symbol. And these attacks where there's bio without basically the Medivacs to support it have become so popular since the WCS Winter Championship, where Pult really was able to kind of just show us some great games with these sort of timing attacks. And well, Forte gets a lot of damage done here. Stimming +1, no Medivacs, but still kills off what, like, he killed a couple of drones earlier, but kills off like 10 or so more X drones at least. Ravagers too were killed. Really great trade. And now the Medivacs will come across the map for wave 2 of this attack. Going to start loading over here. We're going to see the creeps units starting to drop and fall, and we're going to see another stir up, as we're going to see maybe if he just targets down another Ravager or two, this could be very deadly. In fact, he might even just be able to fight against this entire army. Yes, he can. Symbol has to type out GG. Forte has way too much. Continuing here right now. Up a game in this best of 5 is going to be our blue Terran player to the bottom left side of the map, representing team MVP. It's going to be Forte. To the bottom right, it's going to be our teal Zerg player from Jin Green Rings. It's going to be Symbol. Level like crest, horizontal spawns. Obviously, we were not going to see Reaper. We're probably not going to see Reaper play this time around from Forte. Maybe a single Reaper at the start of the game and a single Reaper expansion. But yeah. We're going to see a hatchery going down. And the natural, so early on here, nothing too much going on. So, what I was just trying to say is that Lorelak is a much different map from Orbital Shipyard. First of all, 4-player map. It's generally a lot smaller as well, but it also doesn't have really super abusive ledges that Reapers can use. So, we're probably not going to see heavy Reaper play in the early stages of this. And it'll be interesting to see how the mid-game does start to shape up as we continue on through. And we're going to see the spawning pool on the way here in the back of the mineral line, as we have a couple of overlords just of course going out to scouts in the early stages. In these positions, something like Roach Ravager attacks and so on, early pushes from the Zerg player could definitely be very effective. And what I imagine we'll see Forte do is probably open with a tank-based build here on Lorelak Crest, just because the natural is so hard to hold. Yeah, just because the natural is so hard to hold, it's such a wide opening. You have to be very, very cautious about it. So probably a siege tank based expansion here from our Terran player, and we'll see exactly what he wants to go into very, very soon. Who puts up the prize money for the event? So it's called the Douyu Cup, and I imagine that's probably because Douyu, which is a Chinese streaming service, is probably the people who put up the money to support this. There's also the Leifeng Cup will be returning soon. That's sponsored by whoever runs Leifeng, the team Leifeng, and that'll be coming up shortly once again in the near future. And that'll become a weekly cup rather than the daily cup it used to be. As you see, the grenade actually going to get a little bit of damage here at the start, and the Reaper going to find itself, ooh, not quite the first kill of the game. And we'll now be looking for it there as Symbol pulls back again. Again, great control, keeping this group of Zerglings alive and making sure the Reaper can't pick up any damage just yet. So, we're going to see the Reaper forced back. Let's see a few more Zerglings coming in. Linger speed on the way up, and a factory building here for Forte as well. You'll see at the natural an orbital command starting to morph in as also. As Reaper just backs off a little bit. Queen at the front will help to deflect right now, as we're going to see Symbol getting ready to come in. And he's just going to set up the third base over here too. So third base on the way up for him. And nothing really aggressive at all from either player. Just, well, we are going to see tank base play. I mean, again, it's Lower Light Crest. We kind of have to see tank base play on this map to open with. If we don't, then the Terran does just die to a lot of things because of how hard the natural is to hold. So tanks here early on, not really too surprising. As we see these Marines able to jump into this bunker if they would like to as well. As that third hatch is on the way up. Reaper just out the front here. And you're going to see an Overlord has changed direction to try and come and have, keep eyes on the third base basically. This Reaper is just going to see the third base coming up, so he's very happy and very content that this is probably just a very standard expansion here early on from his Zerg opponent. So Forte going to be pretty happy with what he's seen so far, I think. As you see now the siege tank being added, and siege up at the front, medevac out too, and you can actually move across the map with this a little bit and look to maybe deny some creep spread, push some queens back, and so on. There's some Zerglings just out here, but not doing too much just yet. Another creep tumor comes up at the front, and a Bane Nest on the way down from Symbol. So Bane Nest on the way down, we're going to see that siege tank is on the way. Second siege tank as the first tank is over here, and just going to get some early damage done. And creep tumors which are starting to spread forwards get cancelled, and again just going to look to maybe get a few drones over towards this third base. He could just scan and maybe try and get some creep. Creep actually going to start spreading out to the sides as this tank is backing off. Maybe looking to again get around here. Could siege up over here and start firing onto this mineral line, which is definitely what Forte is going for right now. As you can see him moving into this position, unloading, and the tank, when it gets vision, will be able to fire onto this mineral line, and that's going to be a bit of a pain for Symbol to really deal with, as he's going to kind of, ooh, whoa, do not want to stack your drones up like that. Oh my god, that's going to be a lot of dead drones! Good target find there by Forte to get the drones, which were in the middle in the clump. And that tank's picking up kills here, man. He's getting some good damage done with this early tank and medevac harassment. The Medank harassment. Medank. Whatever we call it nowadays. As the Ling's going to come in and try and help out. The tank's up on 9 kills. Gets one more shot off onto these queens. And just lowering the health of those. We see another tank over here scanning and getting rid of some of the creep spread and stopping that from being advanced onto the map. As you see again, queen taking a little bit of damage here. And that queen is potentially going to die. This tank over here is looking to try and get further damage done too. And as this one looks as though it might be heading back home. Going to unload here once more. He's going to go for the Zerglings actually up there. Now he's going to target by the drones, and if he gets another shot onto the drones, it's going to be another kill or two. So really great damage so far by Forte. Drops off, gets one more worker again. 9 workers killed at the start of this game. And this map is so great for this tank-based harassment. And of course it just keeps you safe as well against any sort of attack from your opponent. Third base from Forte is up and mining. So Forte just going to be able to continue mining over here. And he's getting into a really great position. I mean, it's only 6 blocks behind the triple mule. Base is mining. He's looking great as he looks to kill off the queen at the front, and he will get the kill. This other queen has to be cautious too. And maybe another scan to clean up a little bit more creep spread. The top is fired down those last couple of tumors. Will he get the last tumor there as well? Yes, he will. It's crazy how much damage these 2 tanks are just getting done here in the medevacs. It really, really is. As we're going to see, the Ling is coming over to the left-hand side. He's just going to be simple, maybe looking for a bit of a counter-attack, or maybe work his way through these rocks and get access to the third base. And looks like it will be the rocks that he wants to try and get through here. Both players are heading into 1-1 upgrades. As we see single Zergling underneath these tanks just being a little bit of a pain. It's going to see Queen starting up a bunch of creep tumors here now. Something which we're not going to see Forte deny just yet. A few Baners are out as well. Ooh, maybe he can get some of these creep tumors now if he wants to. He scans actually. He's going to get the Queen at the front, and he will get at least a couple of these creep tumors if he wants them. And he will get them. So, man, Symbol, nothing he's doing here is going well for him. All the creep tumors are being killed off. Nothing's going right. We do see some drops down to this bottom right side, and just looking to try and get some damage done. He's killed off a couple of Lings or so already. Maybe an Overlord too. So see him just, he finds himself another Overlord. Just so much potential here for Forte, who turns around and yes, that's going to be another Overlord killed off here in the next couple of moments. So I mean, Forte just building up with everything. He's got 1-1 now. He doesn't have combat shields yet, but I mean, he's at this point in the game where he's got built up such an advantage for himself with all of this harassment that it might not matter. If he can just push across and get damage done, he might be okay. Now, this counterattack into the third is definitely going to distract Forte. We could get some serious damage done as well. We've actually seen a switch into Widowmine production after these early tanks. As them Lings starting to stream in here, damage starting to be done. Bane is starting to head in towards the natural expansion. They're about to start connected on this natural mineral line, and Forte does pull away though, and really does minimize the damage he takes. So very little damage done there, and also minimizing the damage he takes over here at the same time, pushing up in towards his opponent's natural. So I see Bane is starting to crash on forwards. There's enough Marines to realistically hold off against those. Combat shields has now finished during this attack. And we see Forte pulling his siege tanks back just a little bit further just to keep them alive a little while longer. Banelings do start to connect, but again, there's only so many Zerglings. We're now going to see Forte. Oh no, micro at all there at the very end, and does lose a few more Marines because of it. Zergling's just going to be moving out a little bit. Medevac's going to be joining up together and firing onto a Zergling. And, I mean, we're going to see these Zerglings try to counterattack, and they might get a bit more damage done, but if they're not careful, they're going to find themselves trapped into this base. They're just going to squeeze out, but a few of them getting caught at the end of it. So about 10 or so Zerglings getting taken down. As now Symbol will get the meters out onto the map. He's about to hit 2-2 as well, but has he just taken too much damage early on? I think he's still in this, actually. I think for the most part, it's been okay. The counterattacks have been doing alright for him. He's killed about 8 workers, which isn't loads, but it's enough. He's definitely been losing a lot more in terms of resources lost, but, well, maybe with some meter harassment, he can really bring himself back into this game a bit now. As you see, these 2 tanks are still alive. They've been picked up. I really want to look to see how many kills they have next time they drop down. As we're going to see this turret targeted, and Forte does not repair it in time, so we're going to see these SCVs starting to drop, and these meters will come in and get another good wave of damage being done as Marines popping out, but they're not enough on their own. A couple of Widow Mines will burrow, and Symbol realizes that is not going to go towards the Widow Mines. At the same time, though, Symbol will have to clean up this attack over on his own side of the map. As you see, Forte unloads these siege tanks. 18 and 36 kills on one of these tanks. What on earth? 36 kills and 19 kills on the tanks. That is absolutely insane. These tanks have been alive for so long this game. The Meters are going to come back home, and I get the feeling these tanks might be some of the first targets for their Meters. The hero tank hits 43 kills before going down. However, Symbol will clean on up, and Forte has nothing left, and this counterattack now is going to do so much. Meters are going to be caught by all of these medevacs, and Symbol has found his way back into this game. He's found the engagements he needed, and he will now have to be a little bit cautious about attacking in towards a wall. But he kills off all of the medevacs. Okay, he's just going to bust the wall down with the Bane as he keeps on pushing forwards. If enough Marines go down here, the Marines will be able to clean up afterwards. And it looks as though that will be game number 2. Going the way of Symbol here in this best of 5. We're going to be all tied up, heading into a third game of this series. Symbol took a lot of damage early on. I didn't think things were looking good for him, but he was able to find himself some good engagements. The run-bys did enough damage, and the Meters too put Forte into an all-in sort of position, and just did so much damage themselves. We see the Meters continuing to reign supreme in the main. Lings and Meters continuing to rally across the map and just deal with whatever they can and do damage wherever they can as well. As Forte, maybe he can't really quite believe that he has lost this year after how well the early stages of the game went for him. We're going to see the Lings clean up a few more SCVs. GG called. Symbol takes game 2. 3 of this best of 5. To the top left, it is our blue Terran player Forte from MVP, currently building a couple of barracks down in the center left of the map. Dun dun dun. So he's going to be a little bit aggressive here at the start of this game. It's a gas as well, so he's going to go into some Reapers or so, I imagine, after this first Marine. A bit of an interesting opening here. As we have the SCV coming in to scout. Symbol is our red Zerg player down to the bottom left from Jin Green Wings. As we're going to see SCVs being, drones being pulled to deal with this initial attack. I mean, what does Symbol actually see? He sees 2 barracks, right? But that's it. So, how much aggression really is this going to be? How much is this really going to lead to? As we see these Marines backing off. Again, gas back at home for Forte, who is not even super all in with this at all, and yet he's doing so much damage with it. I really feel as though Symbol is overreacting to what is only 2 barracks, and I just feel as though doesn't really need to lose this many drones for it, so I'm not too sure. We're going to see, what, 4 or 5 workers being lost. Symbol's now 13 workers to 18. We're going to see this bunker Might even get up here if this SCV can get onto it for just a second. I think it's coming out though. We will not be able to, but still, factory on the way behind this. As you see, a couple more Marines are going to keep on coming out. That bunker will be cancelled, and the Marines as well just able to kind of pull back into this little bit of a gap as well, and that'll make them almost unfightable for these Zerglings. They do not want to engage into that position at all. So, Marines are going to be sticking out the front here, and a couple of Lings just making sure they are still there, as we are going to see some Lings starting to loop around the right hand side of the map. Definitely a move which has got a lot of possibilities, but there is a wall off back at home, and this is something Simple sees. I don't know what he's hoping to really achieve with these Zerglings, as the Marines now moving forwards, and without the Zerglings here back at home, these Marines have a lot of potential. He doesn't really want to overcommit at all. There's a few more, he doesn't know, he saw a lot of Zerglings before, now they're missing. But that might just tell him about what's coming up at home. Tech Lab going to come down. Starport 2, he's going to go into what, a Banshee follow-up? Or maybe a tank follow-up. As he's getting some more damage done at the front, just harassing another drone. Maybe going down Forte. There's still 5 workers ahead as these Zerglings do arrive on the other side of the map. I mean, he's going to force some repairs on the Tech Lab, on the depots. But I still feel as though he should be able to deal with this, as he's actually over here dealt with all of these Zerglings. And Forte is getting some major damage done, continuing to attack forwards into this. The SCVs get pulled in time to keep the Tech Lab and the depots alive. There's a few more Zerglings come out, but there's just so many Marines over here. They're just doing so much damage. That Queen is going to go down too. And we're going to see a couple more Zerglings as they come out go down also. And Forte is getting so much damage done. These Zerglings over here aren't going to do anything. A Hellion now out to help out. And, well, Simple just has to type out the game. He's going to lose too many workers. Really cool, neat little build, and then huge overreaction, which came out then. We'll start it all over again on Wednesday next week, as we will have another cup for you guys from the Douyu. And again, it'll be every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and I'll be providing English coverage every single day it's on. So how great is that? Awesome. Which means that if you do enjoy the cast and enjoy the content you've seen on the channel, you should hit that follow button to see when we're live again in the future. And of course, you can also see when we are we're live with other events as well as the Douyu Cup. I mean, we've got stuff such as the SC2 Improved Team League coming up tonight. That's going to be a lot of fun. Invasion Esports take on Cascade. We also have Root Gaming taking on AT Gaming. So that's going to be really, really awesome tonight. So make sure you check that out. I'm really looking forward to that from 7 PM CET. To the top right side of the map from MVP, it's our blue Terran player. It is going to be Forte. And down to the bottom left, our teal Zerg player is going to be Symbol. Milky ruining the bets. Lol, 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 lol. Well, Milky, you're gonna have to fix that one somehow. Oh, have fun with that. This is why I don't like doing the bets, in case I screw it up. Alright, so as we jump into game number 4 of this, we see Reaper expand against Hatchgas Pool with cross spawns on Ruins of Ceres, which is very indicative that we're going to see a longer macro-oriented game. Yeah, I mean, we're looking towards a match which is... it's cross spawns on Ruins of Ceres. It's very hard to push, very hard to attack as the Terran. And so this could be a pretty long game, actually. One of these games that really does go late game. Ruins of Ceres has been really great at caving us games like this, especially in cross spawns. So looking forward to this as we see this Reaper coming across the map. And Forte just going to be having a look to see where his opponent is early on. I mean, he already knows it's not bottom right unless the Overlord was playing tricks on him, because he did check down to this side earlier in the game when the Overlord was arriving there, which is about 115, 120-ish in the game. Probably if you scout it at 115, you'll see if that Overlord's coming in or not. As we see the Reaper also just coming in here, sees nothing in the top left, and so finds his opponent in at the bottom left instead. So, Forte is going to be continue to scout here early, as we see the Marine just patrolling along the ledges. And we're going to see a factory about to complete. Reactor is about to complete as well. And we may see a few Hellions coming out here in the early stages of the game. First time in the series, I think, really. I don't think we've seen Hellions so far. We saw tank base play on Laralac. Game number 1 was Reaper base play on Orbital. So yeah, and third game was Proxy Rack. So different build once again from Forte, who continues to kind of freshen up the series and to keep the build orders fresh and active and different. Keep Symbol guessing as to what might be coming next, as we are going to see a couple of Hellions starting to pop out here. You see a Tech Lab building on the barracks, which is maybe going to be for a Banshee here in a few moments' time. Some Hellion Banshee play, something which has been coming back into the meta game quite a lot lately. In fact, we're starting to see more Banshees in the early game of TvZ than we are Liberators. As we have the Reaper just going to be popping up and taking this watchtower on the south side. Is actually the watchtower that belongs to the Terran player to the north side. Sorry, he owns both the watchtowers. I was getting my colours mixed up, dark blue and light blue. So, my apologies. So, Terran player holds both the watchtowers, some good map control here as we see this overlord. Just going to scout a couple more Hellions, so someone getting some good information as to what sort of, how much of a commitment this is. Not going to be Banshee play, actually just going to be a medevac. And that could be very effective too, dropping into the main base. If there's not enough units out in position, these Hellions in them towards the main, it could get a lot done. Generally, Zerg players tend to rely quite a lot on Queen defense based at the front. And that's why this medevac play can be so effective if unscouted. It means that you can kind of drop up into the main, the opponent doesn't really know about it, and then, maybe they don't have enough units. But we are going to see a lot of Zerglings on the way out. This Reaper is going to get nothing done with the grenade. Comes in and scouts the lair. As the medevac going to load up them Hellions, but the Zerglings are all out on the map. And oh, this is not good for Simba. He's making more and more Zerglings actually, so he actually wants to keep committing to this. Does he have a Evo chamber to drop? No. He's going to go for a big Balin Buster as these Hellions start to run in. Oh my god, them drones are all stacked up. Great pull back there in the last moment or two to kind of save what was about to be absolute disaster. Medevac will load now, lift those Hellions and pull them away for now. But what was that? 7 workers killed already. Hasn't cost our Terran player anything. More lings on the way out. Balin Buster is on the way here in a second for Symbol. So many Balins about to start morphing in. And here's the problem for Forte. He doesn't really know about this as he comes back in with these Hellions. So both players are going to be taking economic damage here. Most likely. Let's see how well Forte deals with this crisis, which is about to kind of reveal itself at the front of his base. He doesn't have any further Hellions, and that's one of the problems here for him. As he loads, he's going to see no saturation on the third. When does he begin to realize what's going on? He might just bring his Hellions all the way back home now, as his Balins finally burst on through. I guess that wall, he's going to come up in towards his main base too. Does he get the depots raised in time? He does. Single Marine down here, going to have to load up. A couple of Hellions are going to have to micro like absolute gods. I mean, he might be able to get rid of the Balins here quite quickly. Stim comes down. The Balins are gone, but how do you fight against this many Zerglings? SCV's taking a lot of damage. Hellions are flying back home, and Liberator too, flying back home to try and help and defend. But Symbol is killing off so much in this main base. That being said, the work counts are still very similar. And with double CC, double mule available, it's going to help out a lot. Oh no, these workers are completely trapped. The Balins kill off so many to the south side, and Forte is down to just 5 workers. He gets 4 Hellions dropped off and loaded over here. He's got another Hellion building. It's not enough though. Game 4 goes the way of Symbol now. In the next second. Just one more second, I promise. There we go. We're going into this right now. Attempt 2. Always better. To the bottom right, it's our blue Terran player from MVP. It is Forte. And to the bottom left, our teal Zerg player from Jin Green Wings. It's Symbol. Alright guys, so some TvZ action here. As we get set up and ready to go into the 5th and final game. What's it going to be? Forte has really good spawns for 3-Axe Reaper play. That could be something we see here. Maybe we just see him trying to expand and play a normal game. Symbol has very good spawns for things such as for certain builds such as, Link Queen drops and so on. Lots of possibilities. Apologies if you hear my dogs barking. And they're downstairs barking away at someone walking outside. They don't like it when people walk outside their house. How dare you walk on this pathway? How dare you? Woof woof woof, they say. I guess they don't really understand. They just get excited. CC first from Forte. CC first on Forte for map 5 on Central Protocol. What a baller. What an absolute baller. What a god. And then Iraq's double gas follow-up. So we're going to go into his factory very, very quickly here. Very, very quickly here. So, Iraq's double gas. We're going to see that CC, of course, building. This is a build we used to see way back in... Was it in the End of Rings of Liberty or Start of Heart the Swarm? The CC first play was so popular. CC first into the double gas after and into Hellions, free CC. It was the way to play TvZ. This might be kind of double gas. It could be Hellion Banshee or something. Goes for a Reaper at first, though. I'm intrigued to see where the factory comes into this, and just in general what we see. I mean, it's always cool to see something like this, which is something we haven't seen in the metagame for some time. And let's see this SUV coming in, popping down a factory. And I'm going to see this factory starting to build up here. Reaper going to start moving out. Reactor drops down. So it's just going to be the Hellion base follow-up. Could have already had that reactor building if he skipped the Reaper, though. So let's see what happens as we see this Reaper coming across. And we're going to see what, I mean, our Zerg just kind of again set up, right? I mean, third hatch coming down. It's a very standard build from the Zerg, just Zerg and speed coming in. So he has been across. He has scouted the factory, the racks timings. Whether he can pick up from this that it's been a CC first or not, we don't know just yet. As we're going to see this Reaper just backing away, and doesn't want to overcommit or anything. Just wants to get some information and see what's coming his way. There's the starport on the way up. Now again, what we used to see when we used to see this sort of build, and way back whenever it used to be, we used to see Hellion Banshee as the follow-up, and it is going to be a tech lab build next to the starport. So Forte cracking out the good old builds here. And there's the Reaper going to be just sitting just out the front as well. Rotron is coming on down here actually very quickly for Symbol, and that's actually worth mentioning. He did get rid of his Zergland speed, and so without the Zergland speed now coming up, he's going to go for a very big roach time in here in the very near future. That means that he's actually still making drones, but yeah, we're going to see the Rotron coming down. As you see, a couple of Hellions coming across. Yeah, someone, Sweat NK just said, why did Symbol send his Overlord North? This is the second time he's done this today. I don't think he realizes that the northern spawns have been disabled. The vertical spawns have been disabled. There's a couple more Hellions coming. It's actually going to be a Liberator and just a very fast stim coming in on for the barracks. 2 more racks being added on as well. Now, we might see something like a 2-base sort of all-in sort of thing from Forte, where he just builds up to 5 racks very early. Something like that is definitely a possibility here as he starts a Viking after his initial Liberator. Reaper coming in to scout once more, just having a look to see what's going on, and does see the lair timing of his opponent. Don't believe he's not seen the Rotron yet, so he doesn't know it's Roach-based play at the very early stage of this. And to be fair, it might not be committed Roach-based play. Symbol could, if he has enough gas shortly, could drop down the Spire and go Roaches into the Spire play, as we see 3 more racks building. We're going up to 5 racks, so he is going to go for this kind of 1-base commitment, 2-base commitment. As you see that reactor cancelling on the starport, he's going to build a single medevac to go harass with initially. As the engineering bay is up, so he can start up his +1 weapons. As these initial Hellions, one of them getting picked away at, but the rest just continue to move around and looking to see what they can get up to. A couple of kills on them, but nothing too major. As these Hellions continue to move around the map, continuing to look to see what is going on here. There's a couple of Queens coming up, and just going to be holding on this left-hand side expansion. Inject's already queued up on this, which is one of the advantages of Queens nowadays, able to stack up those injects. Actually, kind of cool as you see Marines jumping into that medevac, going to be coming over towards the bottom left side and dropping off over here. Now, a couple of upgrades are on the way for Symbol. He's going to go for a linear-based play. He actually cancels the melee and goes into missiles, though. So whether that was his original plan, he just messed up, or whether it's something he's seen, I guess we'll find out soon. I feel as though melee is the standard way to play this, because he's got an Infestation Pit, and it feels as though he was maybe looking to go in towards kind of like something along the lines of Ling Ravager opening, which can be very, very strong. As we're going to see a couple of overlords going down here. M2 Ravagers do not want to commit on their own, however, I think Forte has realized that they are here, so the Zerglians are going to get taken down very quickly. We are going to see Forte not committing too much onto those Ravagers, wants to move away from those, so Symbol taking a little bit of damage though already. Another Overlord perhaps is going to go down. He's going to be supply blocked once again. No Overlord building either, so big supply block for Symbol. As you see Forte moving out with a lot more Marines, and he's attacking a lot sooner than I thought he did. Would usually you see this kind of build attack with kind of 4 or 5 tanks, with all of them in medevacs coming across the map. And we're going to see, well, in this scenario, just going to be 1 or 2 tanks, but attacking much sooner than you'd expect. That being said, the combat shields, the +1s finished a lot sooner because of the way he built up here, and because of the way he went for the stim so early. So it's a bit of a difference. You can see the supply block Symbol might be what really comes back to kind of bite him here. We're going to see that tank on the low ground going to be very well positioned. Another tank will come in here as well. It's going to be very hard to deal with. We do see two infestors are out, but they're currently up to the north, not really doing anything. As these units are popping out of the natural are in a lot of trouble. Here come the infestors, but Symbol can maybe, might even lose these before they even get up the ramp. As one goes down, the second goes down, the first fungal hits, but it's only one fungal that hits. And Forte just has way too much. And Forte is going to be able to take down all of these roaches. Symbol is losing everything. He has not got a defense against this build. And it looks as though the natural falls, and with it probably Symbol's hopes of the win today. As we're going to see these tanks repositioning slightly. Great timing attack by Forte, coming in just before +1/+1 finishes. Hitting with Stim and combat shields and +1 and all sorts. And it's going to be enough to take the 5th and final game of this series. We'll be seeing Forte as the winner of Douyu Cup number 2. GG's, well played. The MVP Terran takes it. As we saw Ryung take it yesterday, so we see Forte take it today. These MVP Terrans